Hello guys, Mr. Ellis, your algebra teacher, coming at you with the scatter plots. And I'm going to show you guys how to work through these three problems. They're a little more challenging. 138 and 2 in the star connection attached, right? So first thing I do is open up the star connection, right? Okay, it says 138 and 2, pages 1 through 3. I'm just doing the first three problems, guys, right? So 1, right off the bat, a dentist made the scatter plot below to show the number of cavities for patients had as it relates to the number of times they floss their teeth each week, right? And then said, which of the following best describes the correlation for the data? Positive, negative, nonlinear. I'm going to open it up, so, get a little distracting for me. And then it just says, which of the following best describes the correlation for the data, right? I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Positive, negative, nonlinear, or no correlation, right? It says for 1, for hints, use the Google Slides. So right off the bat, I'm just going to open up the Google Slides, see what's up, right? Let's go to correlation problems. Problem will ask you for positive, negative, no correlation, or nonlinear correlation. Isn't that what's going on here? Positive, negative, nonlinear, no correlation. So, I have drawings in the slides, guys, so I can show you guys what to look for, right? So start off with positive and negative, right? Let's look at the dots, right? They're going like that, right? Does it look like that guy? Does it look like that guy? Because that's positive, that's negative. Does it look like that guy? Does it look like that guy? That would be linear, right? That's not one of the answers. Non-linear, right? Does it look like that guy? Or maybe it looks like this guy, maybe. You decide, right? Because it's going to follow one of those patterns for sure. This guy, this guy, this guy, or this guy, right? It's got to be one of those four. Okay? Teacher collected data on 20 students for 2 different quizzes. The scatter plot below shows the relationship between the number of points scored on quiz 1 and the number of points scored on quiz 2, right? Which statement describes the data? And, there's no easy way to do this, guys, but I'm going to do it too, so I'm in it with you, right? Look at the scatter plots closely, go through every possibility answer choices individually, and pick the one that fits best, right? So I'm going to go through every one, guys. So first one, the number of points scored on quiz 2 was less than the number of points scored on quiz 1 for any student who scored at least 50 points on quiz 1, right? Okay, so at least 50 points on quiz 1 means we're looking at guys from here to here, right? So all these guys, all these points, right? I'm basically saying the number over here is going to be less than the number over here for all these guys, right? And right off the bat, that seems true, right? So, because right here we have a 50 on quiz 1, and it looks like here all these guys have less than a 50 on quiz 2. So far, so good, right? Let's check the 60s, right? These guys got a 60 on quiz 1, but they got a 70. This person got a 70 on quiz 2, got a higher grade. So the number of points was higher, so it can't be F, right? Let's check G. These all are oriented the same, right? So let's go to the end first. For any student who scored 50 or fewer points. So now we're only checking, because we got to include the 50s, right? 50 or fewer, we're talking about these guys now. And we're saying quiz 2 is always higher. But right off the bat, that's not true, because look at quiz 1 grades that are 50, and these quiz 2 grades are below 50 for the same people, right? So it can't be G, right? Number of points scored on quiz 2 was greater, right, for at least 50 points on quiz 1, right? Which means that all the kids did better, right? But wait a minute, we still have to include the 50 pointers right here, right? And these quiz 2 takers still did worse than the quiz 1 takers, so it's not H, right? I guess maybe it's J, right? But let's check anyway. Number of points scored on quiz 2 was less than the number of points scored on quiz 1 for any student who scored 50 or fewer points on quiz 1. So now 50 or fewer, right? So we're saying for these guys right here, is quiz 1 guy always higher than quiz 2 guy? We know it's true for these guys. We checked them about 3 times, right? Let's check for a 40 on quiz 1, they get a 30 on quiz 2, 35 on quiz 1, 30 on quiz 2. Still, quiz 1's higher, quiz 2's less. 30, he gets a 10 on quiz 2, 30 on quiz 1. Quiz 1's still higher. Quiz 1's still higher. 35, 25 higher. 25, 20 still higher, right? So I think J is probably it there. All right, and 2. Let's go control minus. Scatter plot shows number of free throws that different basketball players attempted, the number that each player made. Based on the trend of the data, approximately how many free throws would a player be expected to make if he attempted 60 free throws, right? And so the hint I gave you guys is try and draw a line through the dots, right? But man, it's kind of hard to do it on this Google Doc because, I mean, you know, you look for it and you just can't find a thing to do it. So track it with your cursor. All right, guys? But the hint I was really trying to give you guys is that draw a line through the dots, but more than that, make sure you're following where most of the dots are going, right? Don't draw a line like that, right? Like follow these points right here, go in the middle, right? So you might think it's 50, right? Because you go 60, 50, right? Because we're following this free throws attempted versus free throws made, right? 60 to 50. And that line kind of makes sense, but then it kind of goes off all the way up here, right? And you only see 1 point up there, right? 35, you could check that. We're just checking the answers. 35. Say go 35, I go 60 free throws attempted. That line goes through a lot of the points, right? And it's consistent with those two, right? And it's in the middle of everything, right? You want to get the line try in the middle of everything with the most points. 25, maybe, right? But see, that one may be too low. It doesn't get those points right here. And 60, that's a little too high, maybe. You know, so you just want to get a line that captures the most points, you know, for the free throws, right? You track the line from the number of free throws made versus attempted, right? So you track the attempted. We know the attempted is 60, right? So we immediately go to 60, and we go up here how many we think he would make and just track the line, see which line fits the graph best, all right? Okay, guys.